Okay, we're going to continue on with our pin curls. We're doing flat curls, and we did our sculpted curls half base. You can see those horizontal patterns. Curls are sitting half on, half off their base. We also did our maypole curls that sit entirely on base. There isn't a sculpture curl that can sit on base. If it's all the way on base, it is then referred to as a maypole curl. A maypole curl is an open center curl. Remember, we wrapped it around our finger. The sculpture curls are a closed center because we close the circle as we come around. Now, working into the next section, we're going to do sculptures again, and these we're going to do off base. So I've sectioned here at mid-crown, and I'm taking everything up on top out of our way. Now, as I move back here, I'm going to kind of just split this down the center and get some of this out of my way. And if you'd like to, you could go ahead and put a duckbill clip in there just to hold that out of the way. Now, remember when we started to talk about pin curls, we talked about that there were different types of base shapings. And we're going to advance a little bit. We've been working with square shapings. We're going to move into rectangular shaping. We're going to do something a little bit different with our panel of 9. So I'm going to follow in suit here from where my square was in the front. And I'm going to take a rectangular base, and I'm going to come straight out at the curve of the head. Okay, so leaving this section out as I hit the curve, and I'm going to direct this all back and flat against the scalp. I'm going to ribbon that end, and I'm going to roll that end in underneath. And do you see how it's going? I'm going to stop before I hit that base. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to grab that curl, and I'm going to secure it to its base underneath. Then I'm going to come directly behind the next one, and I'm going to secure that again, get it nice and smooth against the scalp. This is an off base or a full stem. So this curl is going to travel away from its base. I'm going to bring that in, and I'm going to stop before I get to the base, and I'm going to bring my pin curl clip, and I'm going to go into the inside of that curl, and I'm going to secure it to its base. Next section, I'm going to take this rectangular section, and I'm going to smooth this out, and I'm going to ribbon that end. I'm going to bring that end in and around. Bring that end in there, keeping it off base. I'm going to grab that curl. I'm going to slide in underneath. I'm going to continue working my way down, rectangular shape. When I lift off that head curvature, I'm going to stop there. Just leave this section out. That's fine. This is just an exercise, guys, okay? So see how nice and smooth that is? And I'm going to bring that end in, ribbon that together. Now, again, if you wanted to use papers, you could do so. I'm going to get down here so you can see nice and close. Okay, last section. This is my rectangular section, and I'm going to direct this nice and tight against the scalp. Ribbon that end together. I'm going to bring that end around. Stop outside of its base. I'm going to come in here, grab that curl, and secure. Okay, so you see how these stems travel, no dents in them, that hair would flow, and then I would get this wave. So this type of a pattern would work really well if I were going to be putting in a French twist, where I wanted this to lay close and then have some texture as I created a French roll or French twist on the back. Now I'm just going to leave this section out, just kind of comb that around, get that out of our way. And we're going to come over here and we're going to do the same thing on this side. Now, if I were doing a whole head and doing it as a set, I would have started here on this head curvature, and I would have wrapped those in, and these would have sat half on, half off, and met in the middle, and then this last one would have traveled a little bit further. But just for the exercise here, for the sake of doing it, we're going to start at the top with our rectangular sections, and we're going to do about 5-6 curls on each side. So coming back up to the top, I'm just going to tip her forward here. Bring my comb in. Where it lifts off on the head curvature, that's as far as I need to go. Let the rest of that hair just fall down the center there. Now, combing it the opposite direction, keeping it nice and smooth. Ribbon that end around. See how it sits off of its base. Come into that curl and secure it to its home. See where that head curvature is, where that comb lifts off? That's where I want to be. So I can come in from the back side as well. Keep that nice and smooth, directing that straight to the center. Ribbon that end together. If you need to wet it down again, go ahead and keep it wet. You could put a little bit of a styling aid in there. A little bit of gel helps. Just don't get it too sticky so it's sticking to your fingers. That's can be frustrating as well. Next section. Again, nice and smooth. Just let that centerpiece fall. Sculpted curls, off base or full stem curls is what we call those. Just need to grab a few more clips here. Secure that in. I'm going to come down here, make sure you can see it okay. Nice and smooth. Ribbon that end together. Come into the curl, secure it to its base. Oh, I just want that a little bit tighter. I know we're in quarantine these days and trying to stay home and take care of ourselves and stay healthy, and our families are kind of right on top of each other. I don't know if you can hear my family upstairs playing a board game. Try to give each other space and grace during this time. You might be trying to share computers with someone. Okay, smooth out and ribbon that end. Last one here. Nice and smooth. Come into that curl, come underneath and allow that stem to travel. Look at how pretty those are. So here's that centerpiece. It looks like a tail, like back in the 90s when they used to wear tails there. So these curls have a rectangular base. The curl sits entirely off base, which means this stem has a full stem. It gets to travel away. And like I said, if I were doing this as a set to do it pinned up, I would have done curls in the center first and then brought these in at the end to create a nice French twist and kind of carry all of that hair there. But again, this is just an exercise. We're just getting started. We're going to start to incorporate next week